Hey there, and welcome back to the Off Shift Podcast. Today, we're with my friend Brad BizJack. He's been here before. He's coming back again because he has something special he's doing. Those of you guys in the world who are going, I want to have more success. I want to have more joy, more love, more money, grow a bigger business. I want to mend relationships. I want to find out how I could be the best person I could be. I want to fill my potential up, right? You have to learn how to rewire. What does that mean? How does it flow? How does man come to find this? We talk about it in the episode. You understand what it's like and how you know you're in a position to need a rewire, but you're also going to understand what it looks like once you've done it in ways you might never have seen it. So your brain can finally maybe attach to what it looks like to live in that space. Because to be honest, a lot of us don't push towards something because we don't know what we're missing. We don't know what we don't know. And he unfolds what that is in today's episode and gives you an opportunity to join him live to do this rewire on yourself. So without further ado, let's hop into the episode. Hey, everybody, welcome to the episode. I'm over here with my man, Brad BizJack. I'm not gonna lie, man. Every time I get on Brad BizJack's calls, he's got way more energy than me. He like kicks it up 70 notches. Hey, everybody, welcome to, right? So I'm not gonna do that because it's not who I am. This is like my high energy. I don't know where it comes from, but if I'm on a football field, whole different monster. But anyways, we're popping in to have a conversation with this man, Mr. Brad BizJack, because he does some great things. He's a great human, and it's going to be something that you can take and apply to your life today. Real time, immediate access. So without further ado, Mr. Brad BizJack, how are you doing today, my friend?
Dude, I'm doing absolutely fantastic, and I will show you how to up that energy. Don't you worry.
There you go. We got to do it.
Doing fantastic, brother. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's a great day. I'm doing great, actually. It's been a good busy week for me, but it's also one of those weeks where you need to reflect on the busyness you dreamed of and worked for. Yeah. You know, like we all go, God, my life is busy. And I go, isn't that what you worked your tail off for, was to get in demand, to be busy? Like, heck yeah. So I love it. I love all of it, man. First question I open with, and it's completely where you want to take it. Say I'm walking around town. I'm in Illinois, which is where you live. And I sit down at a coffee shop. This cool guy, he's got super energy, sits down next to me. He looks at me and starts talking to me. It's you. Why should I listen to you, in your opinion?
I love that question. Why should I listen to you? Honestly, it's really simple. I am able to see the problem behind the problem. I'm able to see what you're actually going through and help you to see life in a way that allows you to rewire your mind to focus on what you actually want, what your actual dreams are. And, you know, I think a lot of people in a situation, they go and they support other people. But honestly, all it takes is one little insight, one question, one way of looking at a problem in a different way that transforms everything, as evident by any success story's life. And so we're in a coffee shop and we start talking about your dreams and goals. By the end of that conversation, hands down, you will know exactly what you want out of life and exactly what's prevented you from getting it. And then tactical strategies on how to break through to reach what you really want.
I like it, man. That's kind of the key thing, is tactical strategies, how to do it all. Because most people just wing it. They go, I got a problem. I'm just going to work real hard and fix it. And then they work real hard and it never gets fixed. And they go, what? Why is it not fixed? Well, you did the wrong things. In order for this to be your area of expertise, I'd love to know where this lesson came to pass for you. Now, we don't got to go back to the days when you were conceived by your parent. Like, I don't got to do all that, right? We don't need all this. But take me to a point in time where the person that you serve best is right now.
That's a great question, and a great story, because I'm not going to go back to, what childhood was like. Besides talking about the fact that I had a lot of limiting beliefs when I started my adult life. I was $92,000 in debt, and I wanted to change my financial circumstances. That was my goal at the time. And so I felt like if I could just change this money situation, then I'd be happy, right? And I was at a job I disliked, and I remember finding an opportunity for an online business. And I was so excited about that opportunity, and I signed up for it because I wanted something where I felt like I was sprinting towards something instead of sprinting away from something. And if I'm being totally honest, what I really wanted was to break generational chains of mediocrity. I wanted to have something where I could show myself, hey, you did it. But there was just one problem. Every single thing that I tried in the online business space wasn't working. I was so frustrated because I was working my tail off, trying everything. And it wasn't working for me, but it was working for everyone else. I would start to get in my head, is success not possible for me? Why is it happening for everyone else? I took their success to mean my failure. And I
Yeah.
lived in what I call toxic positivity, where
Hmm.
I pretended problems didn't exist. And it was almost like I was using positivity as a coping mechanism for my own insecurities. And I thought to myself, I'll be happy when I'm successful, or I should be further along than I am right now. And I remember talking to my mentor at the time, and she said, dude, you need to work with someone to help you change these beliefs because what you're doing right now isn't working. And I had this really interesting moment where I had to make a choice to hire a coach or to not hire a coach. And I took a look around at all the people in my life that were broke, miserable, having a hard time, and all of them said, hey, once you're out of debt, then consider something like this. That'll, just take care of that first. But I looked at all the people in my life that were successful, and they said, you need to make decisions based on the person you want to become instead of the person you are. And so I took a leap of faith. I hired a coach on our very first session. She said something that radically changed my life. I was telling her all the same things. I want this. I'm doing that. I'm trying so hard. Why isn't it working for me? And she said, Brad, you're so attached to success that you're missing the whole point. You're under the impression that you shouldn't be where you are right now. She said, Brad, business success and money isn't going to magically solve your problems and make you happier. It's rewiring your mind and changing these limiting beliefs. It's going to allow you to create success. And my world changed in that moment. And so I figured, okay, what I'm doing isn't working. So I'm going to go all in on figuring out this operating system, what's going on up here. And I buy a ticket to a conference. And the universe is funny, likes to test you to see if you're really committed to these changes. So the month before this conference, I got fired from my job. Now, keep in mind, I'm $92,000 in debt. I got this little
Hmm.
side hustle. It's not producing any income,
Yeah.
no savings, income gone. And I remember I already had the ticket to San Diego. I already had the ticket to the event. I was so excited. I got there and I had to get to that event. And I remember walking in the door, and the topic that day was all about rewiring your mind, how rewiring your
Hmm.
mind is the only way to create the success and fulfillment that you want in life. And I went through one
Yeah.
of the greatest transformational experiences of my life. It's led to thousands of lives changed all over the
Yeah.
world, amazing freedom for us. And that's where this journey really, really started for me. And now I pay it forward and teach everyone else how.
I like it, man. You know, it's crazy. It's one of those things where people hear it and they go, it sounds all special and woo woo, and it's not possible. And it goes, no, it's actually definitively what it is. I work in identity in the speeches and consults and things that I do. And it is a lot of it's rewiring your mind psychologically, neurologically. And it's crazy because some people just, they honestly don't see this as the thing. And it's not that they don't believe it. They don't even see that it exists. They just go, this is the reality that we live in. Like a lot of times I find myself stuck in I don't know, floats of things that where I want them to be. And what I find is usually like I'm in my own echo chamber of like, it's not possible. I beat myself up because I don't see a better way. I don't know it exists. And what's cool is when you start to actually rewire yourself, you open the perspective to see what you didn't know, strategy wise, connection wise. And then all of a sudden, like it's like a huge breath, your lungs expand of like what's possible. And so most people get stuck in that life of they just feel like they're drowning. Like you said, I can't break through. I don't have any clarity. Nothing's moving. I can't figure out how to do it. I'm working myself real hard. I'm spending more money here and it doesn't break through. So how does somebody know if they're sitting here hearing you going like that? I am where Brad was at. Like and sometimes it's hard. And I don't know if there's a definitive perfect answer you can give me, but in your experience, clients you've worked with, what have you noticed is some of the same language they could repetitively use before they start working with you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, it's a lot of symptoms like that present in people's lives. A lot of people don't realize there's an underlying root cause of all those symptoms. And
Hmm.
at this stage, we worked with thousands of people, and we've recognized some patterns that keep people stuck, and patterns that help people to thrive. And so, the typical symptoms we see in people that are in this place, first and foremost, is they're not compelled by a beautiful vision of the future. They're in a place where they're toning down their dreams to be more realistic, to be more,
Hmm.
well, I think I'm capable of that. And the reason for that is because they're basing their future on failures of the past instead of what they actually want. They
True.
haven't allowed
Yeah.
themselves to actually play ball. They're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And
Yeah.
so you'll see this when people rationalize that they're content, they don't need anything else, or when they take a look at what they really want, but they won't actually decide to go for it. They think it's not the right time or someday I will, right? That's one of the
Hmm.
symptoms. Another
Yeah.
symptom is when they blame things like, I don't have the confidence I need to succeed, right? I don't have the confidence, like blaming things that are states, right?
Yeah.
I have depression, I have anxiety, I don't have the confidence, I don't have the drive, right? Well, all of those things are emotional states, and states are a recipe of how you use your body, what you're focusing on, and the words that you use. And
True.
so, like, for example, confidence. Confidence is an internal state you feel in the present based on your current relationship with the future, right? That's like, if you change your relationship with the future and live in the world of possibility, all of a sudden you have more confidence. And we have a process on how to do all of that. But another symptom that typically comes up, a lot of scarcity, right? A
Yeah.
lot of thinking that money is going to
Out of
solve the
abundance.
problem, right?
Yeah.
You'll never get beyond scarcity. You have to start beyond scarcity. A lot of limiting beliefs about time and fears about, I don't have the time to change my life. But the two big ones that stick out the most, and I have seen over years and years of doing this, I should be further along or I'll be happy. I should be further than I am now. I'm not there yet, or I'll
Mhm.
be happy when I'm successful. And typically that means you're living in perfection. And perfection
Yeah.
is the lowest standard you can ever set for yourself because it guarantees pain. You'll never feel happy even if you achieve, right? You
Yep.
either won't start because you don't know how, or you'll tiptoe around the edges of a dream trying not to lose, or even if you do achieve, it won't feel like enough. And so you always evaluate your self-worth to see if it's enough. And there's so many more, but those are the most common symptoms that we see if
Yeah.
someone's in this place and needs this change, but doesn't know what they don't know.
I agree, man. That whole "I'll be happy" win is an interesting one too, because I don't think people actually understand what happy is, and so what they're gauging happy is what they see, and I think what we see sometimes isn't the truth, and then I don't even know if everybody knows what's going to make them happy, which is a scary thing to say and actually honestly accept. Because for a lot of years, I thought the same thing. Like, if I get money and I do this thing, I'm gonna be happy with 60 grand, 100 grand. And it's like, but then you actually start making that and you go, that the money doesn't make me happy, man. It's weird. Like, what does really generally make me happy, I think, is the release of stress. I'm not stressed on as long as I'm living in a way that is below my means, I'm not out there, spending 50 grand on, sushi, having somebody prepare with their feet. I don't making dumb things up. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Into, man?
I don't know. I'm just made it up. My brain goes in weird ways on a Friday. I don't know what happens. So the idea is, like, as long as I'm not spending crazy, I'm comfortable and I have the peace of mind about here's what it is that makes me happy in my life is the money itself doesn't provide the happiness. It provides the release of stress to do things that make me happy with people that make me happy. As long as I'm smart with the money, right? Because there's some people that make 60,000 and they're broke, consistently broke. There's some people that make $60,000 a year and they're abundantly happy, right? What they do with it. But then it's like, I choose to make the right time. But I think there are a lot of people that they work in the wrong ways. And here's where I think the identity stuff for me, maybe the wiring for you comes in, is what some people do to make that makes them unhappy to an extent where even when they get it, you can't get happy because you have to keep doing this thing and it doesn't make you happy to get what you want. And it's a vicious cycle in that manner.
Totally agree. And think about it like this. All of life is cause and effect. If the
Mhm.
effect you want in your life, the circumstances you want in life is missing, that means the cause is also missing. Well, most people take a look at their circumstances and think that their circumstances are the cause of their emotions, right? Like this causes me to feel a certain way. One of the greatest gifts I could give anyone listening is taking 100% responsibility for yourself, taking 100% responsibility for your emotional state. That doesn't mean you're not going to experience pain. You will. Pain is guaranteed. Suffering is your choice, right?
Mhm.
Staying in suffering. And so if you are focused obsessively over the effect, which is your circumstances, you forget the cause, which is how you're living, who you're being, right? Your identity or emotions, or insert all of the above beliefs. And if you forget the cause, then you can't influence the effect. And so you need to put your focus on the root. Different root,
Mhm.
different what, Mr.
Fruit, my
Trucks?
dog. Roots and fruits, dog. That is true, man. It's I like the idea of state. 'Cause you're talking about the idea of state right now, right? It's like the things you do that adjust it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the same time. Because a lot of people wonder, how do I get happy? So let's go back to that funky place somebody's at, right? I'm in an unhappy place. Things are great. These guys don't get it. You have money. You understand. First off, I was broke for a long time, folks. I almost went bankrupt.
Samesies.
You know what I'm saying? And so you can listen to your emotion and listen to people who've been there. I'll tell you that. You can listen to your emotion, listen to people who've got out of that place. And you can pity party all you want and tell yourself you're right. And that's great. You could do that, but you're going to keep enduring how you're enduring. But I go to those places and I go, the biggest thing that allowed me to move was the state that I got myself into when I was in a defining moment to make the sale finally, or to get on a stage, or to talk to clients, whatever it was. because you may not realize it, but we can feel it, dog. Like if you show up and you need this money, I know it's off-putting. Or you're just in a weird funk. I can feel it. Your words don't have to tell me anything. Something within them, your body language, it conveys out. So what you have to do is learn how to get yourself in a better state of mind. I wake up every day and I'm tired. Like I get sleep, all I need, and I'm like, it's a lot emotionally going on, right? I go, I don't want to get out of bed. I love this. And 30 minutes, right? It'd be beautiful. But my son and I have a routine, and every day we get up and I start the routine going, my back hurts, my knees hurt. I don't want to move. I was lifting yesterday. By the time it's done, bro, I'm geeked up. I just got a little hiking. I got some cold plunging. I got day start. I'm still cold, right? Because I did some things that changed my state. So I enter my day in a vastly different mood than if I'd have started my day going, let me drag out of bed 20 more minutes. Oh man, get my tea. Oh, okay. That your state's different and your life is different. And so what BizJack is saying is like, you control that, folks. In the back, if you can see that he has this thing on his board, I'm looking, it says pull and burpee. That's like workout stuff. Like those are the things you do to adjust your state where you're like, I'm in a good mood. So I talked about him getting on, being happy, like, he does things to adjust it, to have it move forward. So let's get to the point of like, I want to get to the promised land, right? All of a sudden, somebody came through this journey. They were in a funky place and they changed your state. What does life look like for people on the backside? Because I want people to realize that there's a space that you can go to. You haven't been yet, but I want you to desire. What is that place like, Mr. BizJack?
To put it simply and very cliché-ly, it's a life on your terms. And what do I mean by that? A life on your terms. Not just from the broad perspective of doing what you want with who you want, where you want, when you want. What I mean by that is you are pulled by a compelling vision of the future that gets you moving instead of having to push and force. And there are times when using push motivation or willpower matters. There's nothing wrong with that. I use it frequently. But where you are consistently guided by a beautiful vision of the future, where you're like, yes, that's where I'm going. You are compelled by it. On top of that, inner conflicts are removed. If you've ever felt in your life where you want to sprint, but there's chains around your ankles, like you have to do internal marketing instead of marketing to your prospects, right? Where you're marketing to yourself on getting yourself moving. And it almost feels like, I know I'm meant for more, but I can't do it. That's gone. Where you don't have to work hard, where you just go and you move. Where your emotions are regulated. What do I mean by that? Right? Most people are thermometers for their environment, right? If challenges are going around, their emotions are low. Their emotions are depression, anxiety, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I teach people how to be a thermostat, where you decide the temperature that you want to be at. And even though life is up and down, you can regulate those emotions through there, where you're living in full alignment. And when you've actually created the wealth, the freedom, the time, the beautiful relationships that you've wanted most. And not only that, but you're surrounded by other people who not only get you, but challenge you and up-level you, right? I believe that your life is a direct reflection of the expectations of the people you spend your time with. And so when you're on the other side of this, you are consistently around people going after life at a higher level. And trust me, when they expect you to win, you will show up and win. So yes, it's the money. Yes, it's the time. Yes, it's the business or personal growth or whatever it is, but it's that internal emotional mastery that you have where life can throw anything at you and you can handle it with confidence. You can create your vision of success and you can have the fulfillment along the way. And the last piece of it is you live in what's called the success sweet spot, right? Which is where you're striving for something so much bigger than you've ever achieved in your life and you're fulfilled before you ever get there. You feel alive along the way. You're truly living in abundance where you're creating, you're excited, and you're so thankful and grateful each day. It's a really beautiful place to live where life just flows and you're in alignment.
I get it, man. I live there now, man. It's a space where like I'm building something, but I'm not building it in a rush. I'm happy. My life is awesome. I have, great time with my loved ones. And it's almost like a space where like when I was going through crazy, you didn't realize it existed. You're like, there's only special people get that. And then you get it. And you're like, oh, damn, this is really cool. Is that? So I like the idea of people though. I want to tap into that space there because part of it's being around people like that. Expectations are a huge piece of what I preach myself. How do you do that when the people you're around right now, you don't want to be alone, right? So you have your friends, your community, your tribe, but your tribe is taking you down.
Yeah, that's a great question. And one of the biggest challenges that people have, I'll answer this in two ways. The first is kind of against the negative, and the other is where you should aspire to go towards, right? The very first thing about the people in your life, one of the biggest mistakes that I used to make is thinking that the people that were close to me were going to somehow understand my dream right away, that they were going to somehow grab onto it, they were going to fully support it. And you are a visionary, meaning you go first. You have to believe in it more than other people around you do. And if you tone your dreams down to the level of acceptance of your dreams you receive from the people in your life, especially at the beginning, you're going to have a very rude awakening. And so what I discovered that I was making the mistake of doing was the people in my life that loved me, that were deeply just trying to protect me, I was judging them for not thinking like me. I was looking at them and saying, you should think different, which isn't actually loving them, judgment. And so I would lower my energy, lower my state around them. And it created some challenges in the relationship. Instead, what I started doing with the people around me was I started loving them for who they are, accepting that they grow in the way that they grow, and owning this is my dream. It's my vision. I don't need other people around me to totally own this yet. I need to get around people that believe in my dream, but love your family, pick your peer group, right? Yeah. Let me repeat that for those in the back. Love your family, pick your peer group. Love the people around you, but pick the people that influence you. So that's the avoiding the negative side. But from more importantly is what communities you immerse yourself with. If you are trying to create transformational change in your life, you're trying to create the success and fulfillment that you deserve and desire, and you're on this path of rewiring your mind, you've likely studied books or listened to podcasts or taken some action towards that. And that's beautiful. But there's 3 forces that you need to make sure you have in your life that influence if that effect ever comes true. And the first is coaching. You need to be around people that are going to ask you the questions that get you to look at life in a different way. Imagine you're at the eye doctor and you have the board on the back wall and it's the bottom row of letters. That bottom row of letters might be there, but your glasses prescription might not see it. What a coach does is they put a new set of glasses on you so you can see it more clearly. So you need to be immersed in communities where you are being asked questions that cause you to look at your paradigms of life differently. The second thing is, like I mentioned, peer group. You need to be in communities where the expectation is that you win, where the people around you are going after big, huge dreams, even bigger than yours. And when you're around them, you will feel this pressure. Like you mentioned something a minute ago about this needing to be loved, needing to belong. Well, when you're around people, like the greatest need of all is to be loved, right? That's our deepest fear, that we're not going to be loved. So if you're around other people and you immerse yourself in a group of people that are all going after big dreams, where the societal pressure in that microcosm of people is growth, is development, you will grow so that you don't lose love from those people. It forces you to level up. And the third piece you need is immersion. You need to be immersed in an experience where this is just what you consume from all angles for a short period of time. And when you have that, you'll see that life can be very different very quickly. When you combine those 3 forces, you have the person asking you the questions, you have the proximity of people going after it, and you're in an experience that is like, holy cow, let's freaking go. Life can be so different. And you see the stories happening in real time. That's where you up level the people around you so quickly, and you have more success faster.
Yeah, man, it always happens that way. For those who are doing things, you're never self-made. Like I've never seen anybody. It's like I did it all by myself. Nobody else. It was all me in a room. No, that's not how it worked, man. That was like the best Trump voice I've ever done in my life. It sounded like a, you know, right now, if you got. Anyways, I'm bad. When I try to do it, I butcher it. Anyways,
you're doing great.
Here's what I do know, though. I know there's a group of people, and I was in this group at one time where I go, all right, I know these people around me, not the best folks, man. I want to get into a better room, but I'm not like those people. You know, what if they don't accept me? What if they don't bring me in? What if they don't let me hang out with them? There's a fear around climbing to a new level and not belonging in that level. What's your experience with somebody who has that thought, and people who are in that space looking at a person stepping into their space like that?
Oh, that's such a good question. Successful people want to help other people become successful. Successful people want to uplift other people around them. And the only reason you fear looking into that group is, like, if you think about what's actually going to maintain the integrity of a group and allow you to really provide the value that you want to provide to the group, your intention needs to be about giving, not just what you get, right? So if you are looking at a group like that, you're saying, I need to up level. And you're saying, well, they're going to look at me negatively, or they're going to think down on me. Well, you're thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about what you can give. If you think about a peer group, an elevated peer group, it doesn't mean that these people need to be more successful than you in your role. You need to be aligned with values And the expectation needs to be that you win. And so these people in this group, if you have a hunger and a drive to succeed, and you're going to do what it takes, and you're going to provide value to the group in the way that you know how to provide value, you, in my experience, you're welcomed with open arms. When the intent of the person is, what can I just get out of this without any intent to give? That's where things go downhill. And so I look at peer group from the perspective of who's playing ball at the next level or beyond from me, and how do I add value to them, right? Different question, different life. And if you're around those people and you're thinking new creative ways to add value to them, like for example, let's say you join a next level peer group of people going after it, and they're wildly more successful than you in business. Cool. Well, they might need help in marriage where you're crushing, right? So you can help them in that area. You've added value to their life. So instead of looking at it from an ego perspective of saying, I don't stack up, instead it's, who do I need to be and what can I give to elevate the people around me? And that's been one of the ways that I've consistently leveled up my peer group around me. Is I'm always focused on what can I give to people in this group. And equally as important is intentionally limiting the time with the people that are not playing life. And when you intentionally limit that time and you have unapologetic boundaries, that is where life gets really amazing. So I won't have a week where I don't speak to someone that's more successful than me in some way, shape, or form. And I don't pretend that I'm better than anybody. I can learn from literally anybody, but I'm intentionally surrounding myself with people that are crushing it in areas where I want to grow and asking, how can I give to them?
Yeah, smart. And it helps that you see the value of what you can give. Because some people go, well, I don't have anything to give. And you might not have anything to give. Then go create something to give. Find a way, because we can make a million excuses. I mean, we could spend an entire day coming up with reasons why we can't do something 100% because our brain's trained there. But when you start training your brain in some direction and asking, as much as it's like, it seems that simple. It's that simple. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But it actually is pretty simple in aspect. And then I want you to talk to the place that you've seen clients get to. Like, what are some of the language points? And I always say language points because I want people to hear the words the best they can through someone that's gone through it, of individuals that you've worked with that have had this kind of transformation. And it's really genuinely true, a transformation. You look back at your life and go, there's no way that's who I am. I'm completely different. I've rewired my mind. Therefore, my actions are different. My habits are different. My perspectives are different. And all of a sudden, life is different because your life is built off habits, actions, and perspectives. If you can rewire those and do different ones, all of a sudden your life transforms, right? So some of the people you've worked with, man, I'm curious of like, what's some of the things you've watched in real time take place?
Oh my goodness. Where to even begin with the story is from, let's start with the one that everyone measures, which is finances. I have seen people go from completely broke to creating multi-six-figure businesses in literally 6 months. It's incredible what they've been able to do. I've seen people from an emotional perspective. Their exact words were 40 years of challenge finally brought down by a sledgehammer, and I feel free for the first time in my life. Stuff like that. I've had people that haven't had a relationship with their kids in decades finally make contact and finally feel like they're able to build the family that they've always wanted. I've seen people forgive their parents after literally decades of never letting that go. I've seen people literally in a matter of a couple days leave a job that's toxic for them and say, you know what, I'm going to find or create a way to serve people on a deeper level. I've seen people that show up and just I woke up and I'm happy and I don't know why. It is incredible what is possible. And then here's what's amazing. When you go this route and you've rewired your mind for this way of being, all of a sudden you will notice that your dreams expand. Your dreams expand. And that might not mean more money or more business. That might mean more time with your family. Whatever your definition of success is, your dream expands. And then you go through this whole process again of rewiring your mind for that level of dream. Because here's what happens. You'll say, I want this goal. And God's like, that's cute. Okay, here's some amazing challenges for you to go through so that you can become the person capable of achieving those dreams. And that just keeps on happening. And so people experience exponential growth after years of challenge. And it happens so quick.
Yep, I agree, man. I've watched it happen. And when you do actually lean in, you do see it happen. That's the craziest thing. People think it's magical and special. It's pretty stinking special, but it's not impossible, right? And when you do have a life like that, it becomes amazing. But most people don't know how to do that. And one of the reasons, guys, that I wanted to have Brad come on is Brad actually, this is what he does on a daily basis. He is a living example of it every day, but he also himself teaches thousands of people how to do this exact same thing. And so I want to definitely dive into where the conversation I want to head right now, which is he has a pretty much a live 5-day work session, if you would call it. It's essentially it's a challenge to challenge you to be better, right? But the idea of it is it's for you. It's for you to understand what it takes to step through these different stages. So I'm going to let him do his best to express to you kind of how it flows. But here's what I want you to do: is you listen. I want you to listen to you within it and what it can do for you. Not so much what he's saying and everybody else, because yeah, it's cool to have that thing, but hear where the help is for you, because that's where the benefit is and why I want you to take a leap for you to see what your life could be.
Oh, I love that, man. Yeah, and this challenge, it's called the Success Accelerator. It's totally free. It's a 5-day challenge. We put this program on a couple times a year, and it's changed almost 50,000 lives all over the world. Help people to rewire their mind for their unique definition of success. One of the greatest reasons why people have such a hard time growing and changing is because they're chasing a dream that's not actually theirs. And they think it's theirs. They've been conditioned to think it's theirs, but it's not actually theirs. Whether it's societal conditioning, something to do with their upbringing, something to do with their relationship, their marriage, or they're in a business where they're told to dream a certain way. And what this program does is not only help you identify exactly what you want out of this season of your life, but it removes the most common toxic thought patterns and limiting beliefs preventing you from getting there. Because everything we've talked about sounds great, right? Going from this challenge to this amazing future. But how, right? People want the tactical strategies of how to do that. Well, like Truck said, that's what I do literally all day, every day, is I give people the tactical strategies to overcome these limiting beliefs, these fears, these doubts, these feelings of perfectionism or imposter syndrome or overwhelm or low confidence or whatever it is, so that you can create that life on your terms that you wanted so long, so that you can create the success and fulfillment you deserve. So if you have ever wondered or took a look at these people that seem like success just flows to them, like they poop success, like it just seems like it happens so organically and it just comes to them, and they're also living this beautiful quality of life. But then you also look at most people that are struggling in overwhelm, struggling in fear for years, and they're efforting so freaking hard. They're working harder, but they're not getting the results they want. What's the difference? This challenge will not only show you the difference, but how to bridge that gap to become that person that magnetizes success in your life. And that sounds fluffy. It is fluffy, but it's true, right? That magnetizes success into your life and actually becomes that person that performs at a very high level without sacrificing every precious memory with your family. A lot of people have this belief that in order to succeed, I'm never going to see my kids grow up. That's not true. It's not true. You absolutely can see your kids grow up. You can make amazing memories. And you're probably working very hard right now, but you're probably working very hard at the wrong thing. I am very pro hard work. I work my butt off, but I work hard on the things that actually matter. Mm-hmm. And I've aligned my life to where all of a sudden, when these actions are taken in alignment with a dream, you see what's actually important, what's not, because most of what you're doing right now probably isn't important and you don't even realize it. And when you align your actions with a dream and you've broken through all the mental BS and you crack the code in your mental wiring and you see where that belief originated, why it's BS and how to shift it, all of a sudden there's no inner conflict anymore and you can sprint. So if you want to discover how these high performers achieve their goals so much faster than all their peers with less stress, without sacrificing all this time away from your family, join the Success Accelerator Challenge. It's totally free. It's 5 days. It will transform the quality of your life, and not just financially and with your time, that too, but also emotionally and in your personal life as well. So I'm so excited to serve you. Thank you for the privilege. And yeah, make sure you join the challenge. Trucks has the link to enroll. It's going to be an amazing time.
Yeah, you guys will get the. So what you do is wherever you're listening to this thing, there's going to be a link attached to it. Hit the link, get your butt there. I'm going to attend. I'm not every single day, but I have a schedule and stuff like that, but I'm going to make sure I'm there for the trainings. And here's why. The biggest room in the world is a room for success and the room for improvement. There's a guy named Harvey McKay said that one time, and I've loved it. So even myself, like I'm always looking at ways of my improvement and how I can push myself. And I almost will intentionally do things that are hard just because they are hard. Like, that's it. Why? Just because it's hard for me, and I don't know why it's hard, and I want to find out. And when, by doing the hard thing, and maybe I'll find out, and that might be the pathway sometimes. So for you guys in the world who are listening to this right now, I'm talking to you. If something that Brad has said lands. Like if it just lands, show up. It's free. It literally is free. That's the crazy thing is people go, oh, nothing good is going to be, air is free. And that's pretty good, folks. I just thought of that.
It's better than most paid stuff in the world, I promise.
You know, and for the most part, air is free. But that's the thing is those who are skeptical and look at things like that, you don't actually get the true value of it. That's the thing is like it really, yeah, the idea is free, the effort's not. But if you actually do that, you invest the time, the energy, that effort, that's how you get a return on your investment. You know, so take the time to go check this thing out. It's seriously Success Accelerator. It is doing that. It's accelerating your success. We're going to conclude this podcast and get on with our lives. Let you go and do some cool things. You better go and show up to this challenge, man. But here's the thing. I always ask this last final question. What promise did God make to the world when he created you?
You'd help people come alive. That I would help people come alive. I'm going to empower you, help people come alive. And that's what I live my life for. Like the purpose of my life is to be vibrantly alive so I can help others find gratitude and love every day. And I believe that that's what I'm put here to do. Help people come alive, their limitless possibilities, to help people just see how beautiful life can really be. So,
I agree, man. I like it. It's a solid one. It's a solid one. The cool thing is when you get to that level in life, you understand that sometimes the greatest gift to yourself is to give to others, right? So I love to give and share and teach because it is fun. Because I think we get to that point when you think the thing you need, you think you need a thing. And then you get to the point of having the ability to get the thing, or you get the thing and you go, oh, I didn't need that. Like I wanted it and now I don't want it. Like there was something I watched recently. It talks about like there's something that happens at a certain level of success where luxury becomes the opulence is less and it goes through a flow. And it made me like, actually I had a good reflection on myself. When you don't have much, you want the Mercedes, the Ferrari, the house, the car, because it's a stature of how much you have. When you get to a certain level where you don't even need that thing to make you feel like you have money, it's like you're beyond in such a level where like you walk around like Phil Knight. He walks around at University of Oregon. He's a Nike guy. I was always there. He's got like, regular shoes, torn up pants. He's got the same jacket that barely fits him anymore. He's 83 years old, just doing his thing. And I look and I go, how is this guy just looks like that? And it's like, oh, because at a certain point, it's like, I could buy a Ferrari, I don't need it. Like I don't need a Ferrari. And that level, it's like, ooh, and I look at that and go, it's a materialistic perspective. What if you have that for love, for joy, for happiness, right? What if you have so much of it? It's like, yeah, I'm just going to give it away, man. I don't care. Like I'm good. I don't need to do that to find joy or do that to have happiness. I got it. And then you don't care how you dress and what you wear. You don't need people to look at you and make you feel special. I after a while, like I grew up wanting rims on my car and a stereo system. I don't even care anymore. Why?
This is a $4 t-shirt from Old Navy.
Dude, that's what you got to get. I've had this. This is a gift to me a few years back, and it's all old and like it's not even all black. It's like gray anymore, but it's comfy. I don't care. But I realized like, why am I going to put rims in a car so that I can't see it when I drive? What's the point? So you going to see my car and think I'm great? So there's little things that I go, you know what? I want people to have that feeling, and what this is we're talking about gives you that feeling. You get to rewire yourself for success. Rewire what success is to you, how to get it, how to live in it. And then at some point, hopefully you get to give it back to those in your life. So great answer. I don't even know why I gave that response. I just felt like it came out of my head. And so you're welcome for that, folks. If you're still hanging out, appreciate you. Make sure you do two things today. One, if this episode helps you and you know someone who needs this, share the episode with them. Hit the little copy and then share button and you put it into their inbox. However you can get it to them so they can get a chance to consume and listen to us and Brad is all his amazing insights in this topic. And then two, get your butt to the place. Come to our Success Accelerator. Come join us, hang out, be there. Let this man pour into you because there's going to be a lot of things that you don't know. When you find out what they are, it opens the perspective of what's possible for your life. Do not miss that expansion idea for your life. Get there. I said, as always, make the most of your shift moments so you can make shift happen. It's Anthony Trucks and Brad BizJack signing off. Hey, thank you for tuning into the Shift podcast. I pray that we gave something amazing to your life. And if you found this episode served you in some way, I would love if you could share it with people you know, people you love, as well as your community, because you never know who needs that simple little seed that can grow into something amazing for their life. And
the actual training doesn't stop here. If you want your free copy of the show notes sent to you after every episode so you can get the major points consolidated down, simply go to textanthony.com and message the word notes. Till next time, make shift happen.